Hey everyone, so today we are going to go and we are going to continue my swatching of my gel polish collection, and we are on the green edition. If you can see, I have all my greens laid out here and there are multiple brands. I am going to start my swatching of my swatch sticks already labeled and they're over here. So just to catch you up, I have started swatching I've done a good bit of my collection. We've gone from these long stiletto swatch sticks to this, so you can see the comparison there. It's just the short almond, and I think they're going to be just much handier for clients to sift through. So this is what I'm changing to right here, and I'm going to show you the ones that I already have done at the very end, but for the vast majority I don't have them done. I only have 3 greens done already and the rest of them are ready to be swatched, so I'm going to do that right now. And starting off, we have the brand Glitter Bells, and this is the shade Can't Find My Khaki. This is a gorgeous khaki green shade, and it's one of my favorites from this pink bottle Glitter Bell collection that I have. This is the HEMA free gel polish collection, and I have a few of them. I like the vast majority of them, but there's 1 or 2 that I don't love. I'm just going to give this a bit of a mix because it has been a while. It's definitely been autumn since I've pulled this one out. So I'm just going to mix it up a bit. And we are going to start with, I'm just going to bring the light down a bit better. There we go, that might be a bit better. We're going to start swatching this. So this is Glitter Bells Can't Find My Khaki. And you can see there, it's a gorgeous khaki colour, but it does need a couple of coats. This one is the first coat and it's definitely not opaque in one coat. So I'm just going to pop that into cure. I do have a lot of my gel polish switched over to these almond sticks. So I have got my pinks, I have my reds, I have my blues, I have my nudes, and I have my purples. So I am determined to finish this off in the next couple of weeks, 100%, because I'm loving the way they're looking. I'm just going to show you some of them so far. So there's some of my nudes. And these are my pinks, neon pinks and oranges all together. I do have videos swatching these already, so if you want to look them up, feel free to look them up. And then these are the baby pinks. So just to give you a bit of an example, this is what I have done so far, and I am so glad. I think they look so much tidier than the long stilettos. The long stilettos are very pretty, but they are so long, and I kind of feel they can be a little bit overwhelming for clients and stuff. So I am just happy enough to switch over. Okay, so I'm going to go in with the second shade of Can't Find My Khaki from Glitter Bells. So you can see that's just a gorgeous khaki green. That would be perfect in autumn. And I am gonna pop that into cure. And then next up we have Madame Glam. So moving on to a couple of Madame Glam colors. This one is, it's kind of glittery, but it's not a full glitter. It's a shimmer. So I don't have it in my glitter wheel. I have a glitter wheel full of what I would describe as proper glitter colors. This is more like a shimmery holographic. So I just keep this with my greens, but it is gorgeous. It's called Erudite, and I'm just going to show you exactly what it's like. It's very pretty. Actually, it is a holographic. Definitely a holographic. I forgot it was a holographic. It's a very, very, look at that. That's a holographic, really fine glitter. Flecks of gold in it along with green, but it is so pretty. Okay, so next up we have Eucalyptus Breeze, and this is from Madame Glam as well. This is, yeah, it's Eucalyptus Breeze from Madame Glam, and this is just a full coverage green color. This one has, it's one of their scented ones. And the coverage on this is so good. You're going to see what I mean. Now, you do have to be very, very careful with when you're painting this on, because it's so pigmented that this can really wrinkle in the lamp. So that's the only thing about this, but it's practically one coat coverage. But however, if you have this, or if you're thinking of buying this, thin coats, because it has wrinkled on me in the past when I've thought I've done thin enough coats. So you definitely have to have thin coats and make sure your lamp is on the highest heat setting, I would say. So I can even smell this. The smell is gorgeous. I don't know how they do these scented polishes. The smell of this is absolutely, I can smell it. It's so nice. Okay, so I'm not going to do a second coat on this because this perfectly shows the color in one coat. So that's great. I'm going to pop that in now for a full cure. And hi Mackenzie, and hi Marjorie, I think it says. I love your nails. Thank you so much. I do have a video up of me doing these nails. I did them on live a couple of weeks ago. And I'm so glad that I have French tips. So thank you so much for noticing my nails. So I have those three in curing, and I'm just going to put a second coat of the Erudite from Madame Glam, simply because I'm just kind of going to paint approximately 3 at a time, so I don't get carried away and forget how many coats that I have on each nail, if that makes sense, or if I don't leave one out. This definitely only needs 2 coats as well. You're going to see here. It is very, very unusual, this one. Like, look. I have to be careful because it will be hard to focus on that. She's pretty. And we're going to pop this one in. I'll move these over as well and go for the next 3. So I can put the lids on those ones because they are all good. We have swatched those properly. Now, next up is a different brand. And I'm going in order of how they look on the swatch wheel. So the way I have my swatch sticks laid out is the way that they are going to be on the ring, because I already have had them in order on the stiletto swatch stick, so I wanted to kind of keep that. This is a manicure company, and it's a colour called Tealing Lies, and Tealing Lies, it's number 31. Tealing Lies is probably one of my favourite colours from the manicure company. It also is very on trend at the moment. Teal nails is they're very on trend. teal as a whole. So I'm just going to maybe shake it up a bit because I haven't used this one in a while. I might give it a bit of a mix here. Yeah, I'm just going to give it a bit of a mix. I really need to get not a stir, but one of those machines where you can, it mixes your gel polishes. Okay, so we're going in with Tealing Lies now. It's a gorgeous colour though. And it's a nice thin consistency, not too thick. We'll definitely need 2 coats though, but that's okay. That's fine, I'll leave this out for the next coat. And the next green we have is another Madame Glam, and this is Minty Mirage. This colour is one of my favourites. I love this colour, it's a gorgeous green. And I also have a code for Madame Glam for 35% off. So if you want a code, it is going to be in the description box. The Madame Glam colours are, as always, very opaque and very, very pigmented. They are so good. So I would describe this colour as a little bit, it's not neon, but it's not pastel either. But it's not a grassy green. There's a bit of mint in it. Yeah, Minty Mirage is a good name for it. It's a very nice colour. Okay, so I'm going to do the second coat of Tealing Lies now. And again, this is the Manicure Company. So as you can see, that's perfect in 2 coats. Absolutely perfect in 2 coats. I'm going to take out the ones that I've done already and I'm going to place them down this way. Because I don't want to lose the order that they're going in, but I have to top coat them at the end. So I'm trying not to lose the order that I have them. And thankfully eucalyptus did not wrinkle. That was the one I was saying wrinkles a lot. And it didn't wrinkle, thankfully. So that is good. Okay, so now we're going to move on to some gel bottle. I don't think we've had gel bottle yet so far in this swatch series. So this is Tiffany, and it's kind of like the Tiffany blue or slash green, whichever you want to call it. To me, this is a green. Maybe to some people it would be blue, but I feel like to me, it's definitely a green. I don't know, let me know what you think down below. This is also a super pretty colour too, and lovely for summer. Like, again, I wouldn't class it as a pastel really, but I wouldn't class it as a neon, but there's a tiny, tiny, tiny hint of neon in there somewhere. Very, very nice for summer. So I'm going to pop Tealing Lies down there. And I'm going to do we need another coat of Minty Mirage just to cover that top swatch stick part there where it kind of gets a little bit not cloudy, but it gets a bit shady at the top. So I'm going to do another coat of that, and this is just the second coat. That is Minty Mirage, and that is Madame Glam. Now we're going to do the second coat of Tiffany, and I think Tiffany will only need 2 coats. So this is the Gel Bottle Ink Tiffany. And I have to say, re-swatching your gel polish collection is a great way to go through colours, because by doing this in my other colours, I have retired some colours. So colours that maybe aren't the nicest to apply on clients or yourself, I have taken off the swatch sticks, because I have more than enough choice in nearly every colour, so I don't need to have every single colour under the sun. And if it's not nice to apply on a client and it's taking you time, then I just have, upon going through all my collection, I've started to take stuff out that I really don't like to work with, basically. Okay, so next up we have one of Madame Glam's Korean gel polishes, and this is Urban Green, and this is one of their Korean formula. They're made in Korea, and they are more of a syrupy polish. So this is kind of an autumny colour as well. Like, the name for it is good, Urban Green, because it is, I think that's a really good name for it. Now, I do think this is less opaque than Madame Glam's usual colours, from what I remember. I haven't used it in a while. So you can see what I mean there about the opacity of these colours. Now, this one isn't too bad, actually. That's quite good, but it's definitely not as opaque as the cream colours from the usual Madame Glam collection. Now, there she is, Urban Green. Not too bad for one coat, actually. And then this is Tiffany, fresh out of the lamp. She has 2 coats. 2 coats and she is done. Okay, so next up we have Madame Glam and Apple Martini. Okay, full disclosure, I love Madame Glam. This colour I applied recently on a client, and I did not love the way it applied. It's one of those colours that I don't use a lot of it, so I couldn't remember how it applied. I just didn't love applying it on a client. I had to do 3 coats, which is so unusual for Madame Glam. But I guess they can't get it right all the time, you know. There's bound to be one or 2 colours in their collection that has thousands at this point, I would say, that just isn't as enjoyable to apply than the rest. So that's first coat there. You can kind of see it's a little bit streaky. And in fairness, these colours are very, very, very hard to get, you know, full. The pastel colours are very, very hard to get full coverage on. So I'm just going back to Urban Green, and I'm just going to go in and do the second coat of this one. Oh, sorry, I just realised I was doing that one. I think I was watching that one off camera, but that's the second coat of Urban Green from Madame Glam. And again, that's their Korean formula. So that's done. 2 coats of that will be perfect. I'm going to go in with my second coat of Apple Martini now. So that is the one where I was telling you I didn't love this application on a client recently, but it wasn't the worst. It wasn't bad that I would take it off, you know, and not have it there as an option for a colour. Green is probably one of my least popular colour ranges as well. Sorry, there's a little hair there. Yeah, so green is probably one of my least popular colour ranges, no matter what the time of year. I would say the only time green is very, very popular, or most popular, is in autumn when people go for like something like the urban green or a forest green, you know. But apart from that, it's definitely one of my least popular colours. And also in organising my gel polish collection, it makes me realise a lot of things. I'm looking over things and I'm like, I really don't need any more greens because it's not a popular colour for me at all. And I have in my mind anyways, I think I have a rather large collection of options for greens, especially when my clients don't tend to choose them. So at least I know if they have a good selection to choose from if I need them there. But I have to also remember not to be tempted to buy more, because I would rather buy loads of pinks than buy more greens that people don't really, you know, go for. So next up we have the gel bottle ink, and this is Crest Sage. And I could also do a clean in this bottle, but this is a really, really nice, I really like this one. It is one of my favorites from the gel bottle ink, and it's kind of like a pastel green. I would use this a lot in autumn as well. So I'm gonna do a coat of that now, and this is Apple Martini. That's out of the lamp with 2 coats. So Crest Sage is one of my go-tos for autumn. It's also one of my go-tos when people, again in autumn, come in and they ask for a sage green French tip. That was really big last year. This would be the one, always the one that I would pick out for them to choose, and it's always like everyone loves it when it's done. And definitely since I've become a nail tech, every single year sage French tip is quite popular. Also for a pastel-y colour, this one is a very, very good coverage. I know the gel bottle ink has so much kind of controversy, but I have to say some of their colours are lovely. I don't buy from them anymore, but the colours that I do have, I do intend to use up, but I definitely don't buy from them anymore, and I don't use their biabs. I did use their biabs once upon a time, but I don't use them anymore. I am currently using Glitterbell's biabs and Magpie, and they're working perfectly for me, so that's what I use for my biab. So I'm just going to pop the colours over here that I'm actually finished with. I hope you're enjoying this video as well, guys, because I think it is nice if you, I know I like to see people's collections and what they use, what brands they use, what they recommend, what they don't recommend. Because like there definitely are, Madame Glam would be my #1 for colours. I love their colours. But there are 1 or 2 colours in Madame Glam that I don't love. They're not my favourite. But then in other brands I could not like the brand as much, but love, say, one or two colours. So that's why it's fun to play around with different brands, I think. Okay, so this is the second coat of Crest Sage, and it definitely only needs 2 coats. Yeah, this is gorgeous. That is beautiful. Love that colour. Now, so that just needs 2 coats, and like I said, it's the gel bottle Crest Sage. I know I keep showing the names, but I just think it's really handy in case you are literally looking at this to shop some green colours, because that could be the case for some people. And then next up we also have the gel bottle, and this is their shade, which is such a cool shade for summer. It's called Rio. Now, again, I know I said I don't use the gel bottle that much, but I do have three greens included from the gel bottle in this series of my swatching. But like I said, they are good colours, and I do intend to offer them to my clients until they're gone. And when they're gone, they're gone. This is such a cool colour though. This is like a neon green. And then there's one from Madame Glam that's very like it in a second, but it's not the exact same. I'll actually swatch it at the same time as this one just to show you. It's not the same, but it's very similar. Like when I first got it from Madame Glam, I thought it was definitely a dupe for this. And I do think you probably don't need both of them. So I'm just going to show you that now next. I'll take out Crest Sage. That's the 2 coats. I was about to say coats. That's perfect. Now, so this is the one that I think is very like Rio from the gel bottle, but it's Madame Glam. It's called Good Luck. This is, I think it was definitely part of a St. Patrick's Day collection. Maybe last year, maybe. But I think this is very close to Rio. There's a bit of a difference, but it's very close. Again, Madame Glam is probably good in one coat of this. So you can see what I mean. Very close. I think Rio probably has a tiny bit more neon. Yeah, so that's that there. Now I'm just going to do 2 coats of both so we can see them together. So that's the first coat of Rio, and we're going to go on and do the second coat. I hope you're enjoying this, guys. If you are, please hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. I have a playlist of me swatching my whole entire collection, and at this point I have a good, I'd say if I have these greens done now, we have 70% of it done. And when I say my whole entire collection, I mean the collection that I offer to clients, if you know what I mean. I have a lot more stuff that's in the drawers and stuff. They would be things I use for press-ons, or maybe, like I said, they could be colours that I don't love for clients, but I still want to keep because I will use them for, you know, I'd use them for press-ons, or I'd use them even on myself. But this is my kind of holy grail of products that I offer to clients. It has been really good to go through it, for sure. Okay, so that's the second coat of Good Luck. And I'm going to compare them side by side when they come out, and we'll see how right I was about them being kind of a dupe for each other. I have to top coat these all at the end, but I will do that at the very end, I think. Okay, so this is Good Luck on the left and Rio is on the right. So they are extremely close. I'm after smudging my little label. But they are extremely, extremely close, I think. I don't think you need the two of them. And if I was going to pick my favourite one, it would be Madam Glam Good Luck. So, yeah. That's what we'll do when Rio runs out. She runs out and she will be no more. Okay, so we are on some neons now. So this is no, not Madam Glam. It's the Manicure Company, and this is called Lime Time, number 43. And I definitely know this needs a mix. So I'm literally just gonna mix the polish around here. And I think I might do a white underneath, because I know from experience this polish needs about 3 coats. So I'm going to just put a white underneath, because white really helps underneath neons. And I know this polish needs it. So I'm going to go in with Semilax Strong White, just to make this application a little bit easier. So if you don't know, and if you have trouble with your neons, try go in with a white underneath. Just even 1 coat. Painting this on makes me really hope that white doesn't come back into fashion, because it's such a nightmare to get a good, even nice coverage of white without it looking horribly bulky. I was debating whether or not to take this colour off my list for greens, but I didn't have something exactly like it, and I kind of want to use it just to see. So we're going to go in. This probably is, yeah, it's definitely going to need 2 coats still. But the white definitely helps it. That it definitely still is looking more yellow, but that's probably because the white. So we will pop on. Yeah, it's definitely one of those colours I'm not sure about. I might end up even taking this off the swatch list after. We'll just see. I hope you guys are all well, by the way. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it if you made it this far. And I hope you guys are so well. I'm feeling very productive getting this done. This is just so good that I'm getting this done. I love having my swatch sticks changed over. I can't wait to have them all changed over. And like I said, if you haven't been keeping up, there's a series. This is my swatch wheel of glitters, and look how many. If you like glitter, you're going to love this little view. Like, I just put all my glitters together. I don't put them in colour order. I just put them all on the glitter wheel. And if someone says, I want a red, I go to the reds. Someone says, I want pink, I go to pinks. Someone says, I want, you know, blue, I just go to blues. But this is them all together. And there are so many of them. I have to change over. I have only that one done because that one came when I was actually changed to the almond. So I'm going to have such a job doing those. But that's okay. It'll be fun to do whenever we decide to do it. Okay, so back on to a second coat of Lime Time from the Manicure Company. I still don't know about this colour. I really don't. I think it could have had it stay, really. I don't know. Now, next up we have something that is quite similar to the colour that I just showed you, but this is a Madame Glam colour. This doesn't need a white underneath, you can go straight in. It's called Neon Beauty, and there's a tiny, 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 minuscule piece of shimmer that goes through this. But you can't really see it when it's swatched, to be fair, so I don't really include it as a shimmer colour. And also, this is like opaque for a neon. So I'm going to paint it on for you right now, but this was one when I took it out, I couldn't decide whether or not it was a yellow or a green, but to me it just edges on the green side because there's another Madame Glam colour that came in the same collection and it's definitely more yellow. So for this reason, this is in the greens for me, even though some people might think that's yellow. We're just going to get swatching and you can decide down below. Let me know if you think this is green or yellow, because I would definitely like to hear other people's opinion. So look how easy that went on. I think that went on so easy compared to the last colour. I think this has made my decision for me. I think I'm going to take the last colour Lime Time off. I just don't love applying it. That's it after 2 coats, and I feel like it looks patchy. You probably can't see it on camera. And maybe the polish is a little bit old and that's why it looks patchy. I'm not going to blame the brand. I think it could be it's just a bit old. I don't think I'm going to offer that. I think I'm going to take that off. Maybe I might use it up on a press-on set or something like that. I'll do something with it, but I'm not going to put it on. And I am going to show you as well, by the way, guys, there's 3 colours at the end that I don't have. I'm not going to swatch because they're already on almond swatch sticks, but I am going to open the bottles. I am going to show you the swatches and I am going to show you what they look like in the bottles and stuff. Just to show you exactly the whole collection. At least if you've made it this far and you've watched the whole lot, you're going to have seen the whole collection of greens. So going in again, we have Neon Beauty. Which I think is yellow. Sorry, which I think is green. Which I'm sure some people think is yellow. And it definitely depends on which light you're in as well. I think this camera is showing it up like more yellow than it is. And it has one of those, you know, the new brushes from Madame Glam, the roundy brushes. Because I think this was in a collection from this year. I'm nearly sure it's not that old anyway. Okay, so pop it in and we have that done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the swatches of the ones that I don't have to swatch because they're all already. In fact, I'm going to take them off this ring. They're going to get ready to join the others in their new family. Yeah, I'm going to take them off. Okay, I'm also going to show you the comparison. So hold on. Where are we? Okay, so the three colours that we have left that we have swatched already are Sage Stuffing from Madame Glam. So this is a beautiful deep foresty green is the only way to describe it. Again, this is going to be amazing for autumn, winter, but it is gorgeous. It came in their I want to say their Thanksgiving collection last year, so 2025. Sage Stuffing is the name. And we also have two colours from Candy Coat. We have 124 and 235. And 124 is very, very close to the Manicure Company's Teeling Lies that I swatched for you earlier. And I don't really have anything very similar to this. This is kind of a tealy turquoisey as well. I'm just going to pick up the Manicure. So that's the Manicure Company. And if you put it in the middle, they're definitely in the same family. These two are close. They're not the same. They're definitely not the same, but they're very close. So this is why I'm choosing to keep these as an option, because they're close, but not the exact same. So I'm just going to show you them in their bottles. This one is Sage Stuffing. And this is how she looks. So it's gorgeous and it's so shiny. It's kind of like a deep forest green. But you could also use it for khaki nails if you wanted a deep, deep khaki colour, as opposed to a lighter khaki colour. And then we have the Candy Coats. So these are two colours that I only got this year on Vinted. I got them just to try them out because I'd never tried them out before. And I had seen them a couple of times. So these bottles are still quite full. I actually think they're very similar in texture and they're very similar in their viscosity and stuff to the Manicure Company. They are so similar in their liquid makeup to the Manicure Company. They just so remind me of them. But these two colours are great. They're also great for nail art because they're thin, but they're not thin, if that makes sense. Okay. Now I got to top coat these colours. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it on here, but I might well, I suppose, because I have to do it anyway. That's Neon Beauty in two shades, or two coats I should say. And I'm going to take this out. This is not going to stay in my little green family. So I'm going to take her out, but I'm not going to waste it. We're going to do, sometimes when I get press on orders, lately what I've been doing is whenever I'm able to do a free gift for a client, I've started looking at my colour range and seeing what colours that I don't use a lot of, or maybe I'm getting rid of them, and I've started to do surprise free gift press on orders with the colours that are probably coming near the end of their time, or I just don't want to use on clients anymore. And I find that that's a great way to use up your colours if you're a nail tech, or if you do press-ons, and you do free gift sets every now and again. That's such a good hack. I don't know, I find that great, for me anyways. Okay, so I'm going to start top coating now. Of course, they always look so much they're top coated. It all just pulls everything together. But yeah, I do find that, going back into the free gift thing, I just hate throwing polishes away and wasting things. So like, if there's stuff left in this but I'm not using it on my swatch wheel, and there's not enough in it really to start making a new press on order, and then, or a new press on set and list it, because this is going to run out soon, then the perfect thing to do, or make a set for your friend even, you know, if you want to make a set for one of your friends and give it to them as a present. I just think it's such a good way to use up your polishes. Now, so we're using the Clarissa Diamond top coat, which I love. I have to order that again because I'm almost out of it. But it's the Clarissa Diamond top, or top diamond. But I actually order at least one of those a month. They are such a good universal top coat. I say it every time. It works over every single brand. It's universal top. It's brilliant, and it's so shiny. I really like the way it self levels as well. I also love Madame Glam's top coat as well. As you all know, I love Madame Glam too. Madame Glam would be second. Their top coat would be second to Clarissa's top coat. Now, so this one is Rio from the gel bottle. I might start naming them as I'm going top coating them, just to remind you of the colours. Definitely cute for summer. And then we have Madame Glam's Good Luck, which is my dupe for Rio. Oh, sorry, I keep knocking against the camera. And this one is the Gel Bottle Inks Crest Sage. I know, that is a really, really good one. That is such a nice one. Like I said, for autumn, that one is so nice. Okay, so apple martini we have here from Madame Glam. This is probably my least favorite, as we have said earlier, just in the application alone, which is so unusual for Madame Glam, but like I said, you don't know sometimes as well. Like, you can think that the application is lovely on a swatch stick, but then when you go to do it on a client, it can start to just show you, I suppose, it's the little kinks and the little things that are annoying with it, like the streakiness, or maybe it's a bit too thick for what you're used to. So this is Urban Green from Madame Glam. That's one of their Korean formulas. Oh, that was so lucky. So lucky that fell the right way. Okay, we are nearly there, thankfully. We have just done every single green in my collection that I will be offering to clients, and I appreciate you so much for watching and getting this far. So yeah, this one is the Gel Bot Link Tiffany, and it is what it is on the tin. It's kind of like a Tiffany color. And we have Madame Glam's Minty Mirage. Which is gorgeous. I love this color. This is such a good one. That one in. Okay, so this is the Manicure Company Teeling Lies, which is definitely one of my favorites from the Manicure Company ever. You can see how shiny it is. And then we have Madame Glam's Eucalyptus Breeze, which is one of their scented ones from a couple of years ago. And that's just one coat. It's full coverage in one coat. You just have to apply that one really thin because it's very, very prone to wrinkling in the lamp. But funnily enough, all the colours in that collection are very prone to wrinkling. There's one called Cinnamon, oh, I forget what it's called again. It's this one. It's called, oh, Sweet Chamomile actually. So it's this one. And that's also very prone to wrinkling as well. I just think there's probably something in the formula of that collection when it came out that it's probably the pigment. I would imagine it's the pigment in the colours. They're so opaque that you have to be very careful when you're curing them. And again, that's just something that you kind of get to know the ins and outs of the colours when you apply them a couple of times, especially on clients, because when it's on clients and they wrinkle, it's a nightmare. But different colours are like that as well. Like yellow is so bad to wrinkle. So this one is a gorgeous holographic green. You can see there, it's really fine hollow glitter. It's green with flecks of gold, and this is Erudite. This one is super pretty. Just thinking. It's actually really unusual. I kind of don't know when I'd wear it, but it's gorgeous. If you wanted something different for St. Patrick's Day, maybe that'd be cool. Okay, so we are nearly there. Now we have the glitter bells, and this is, can't find my khaki. I know I have khaki, only khaki written there because it's such a long name that I was like, oh, I'll just put khaki on it and I'll remember what it is. But this one is a gorgeous one. This is my favorite. Like, I won't buy a lot of glitter bells, as I was saying, and this is one of my favorites. That's a nice one. Very, very, it's the perfect khaki color, I would say, actually. On a side note, I have been obsessed with the Netflix documentary, The Crash. The Mackenzie Shirilla thing where she obviously crashed the car and her boyfriend and one of her best friends was killed in the accident. It's just crazy. I've been watching all the podcasts and the reactions and stuff since it came out. It's just such a mad story. But yeah, it's just mad. I don't know if the parents are doing themselves any favours by doing all these interviews. Okay, so that is that one. But I love watching true crime or listening. While I'm working, I love listening to my favourite like YouTube videos are the ones like, you know, the true crime reactions, or when people break down a case, but they break it down really well. So you nearly don't have to even watch the documentary yourself because people are breaking it down. I love those type of videos. They're my favourite. Okay, so guys, we're actually at the end. This is amazing. Thank you so much for being my friend and keeping me company on this. These are all the colours that we've used today, and we have learned that we're going to retire Lime Girl, or not Lime Girl, what is it? Lime Time. It's this one, Lime Time. We're going to retire this one. That's okay. That happens. These are all the colours that are left. We have Gel Bottle Ink. We have mostly Madam Glam. We have 1 Glitter Bells, 1 Manicure Company, 3 Gel Bottle Inks, 2 Candy Coat, and then the rest are Madam Glam, and they are my faves. And yeah, here are some of the colours. I'll hold up some of them just so you can see and get a little glimpse. These are all the different varieties of green that we have on offer. I think there's more than enough choice there now for clients. Like I said, green isn't a colour that stands out or that I even do an awful lot. I do probably almost no block colour greens. It's usually a French tip, or it's usually some sort of nail art. Sometimes that khaki colour is a block colour in autumn, but in general, there's no block colour greens really that people come and ask for. This one occasionally actually in autumn as well. It's also widely used as a French tip. Sage Stuffing is another one that would be gorgeous with even some, you know, if you just wanted something. This one in autumn winter with just like proper yellow gold foil. just would be so cute. Okay, Neon Beauty from Madame Glam, that's that one there. And then we have another candy coat. So that is all the colours. Thank you so much if you made it this far. I really, really appreciate it. I am gonna apply these in order now on the colour wheel, and I can finally throw out these big, huge stiletto swatches that some of them were on before. So if you enjoy this, please hit subscribe and have a look at my other colours. Like I said, I have pink done, I have my vibrant pinks, I have my baby pink, I have purple done, I have orange, I have blue, and I have all my different types of nudes. So they're all done already. So if you want to check those out and have a sneaky peek through my collection and what I offer my clients, they are on a playlist on this channel. So thank you so much, guys. I'm going to leave it here and I will see you in the next one.